Hey there, my name is Brian Nesline, and I'm here with Crystal White, and we're going to talk with you about how to get what you really want, how to manifest what you really want, and how to let go of those expectations of it happening.
This is a very important topic to go over because in this magnetic world and in this magnetic universe, it is so important for us to really figure out what it is that we want and make sure that we're letting go of the expectation of it actually happening so that it will eventually come.
Now, do you have a couple of ideas, or just start off with one idea about how to let go of the expectation, how to really relax, how to really not freak out and push and pull so that that manifestation naturally comes to pass?
Well, here's the idea that comes to my mind, Brian, is that we have this knowledge that what we put out into the world is going to come back to us. And because of that, we tend to hold on to it, expecting for it to come. And that is almost to our detriment because we're holding on to it, we're not letting it go. And then we have an expectation of how it's going to happen. So it's almost better if we could let go of the knowledge that we have of it returning to us and surrender to it, actually set the manifestation, send it out there, let the universe know what we want, but then let it go completely and forget about it.
Appreciate what you're saying on that. Now you've got me thinking of it like it was a seed that you plant in a garden. You put some water on it, you put some sun on it. That's important to do those things. But then once you've watered it, walk away and do something else in your life. Forget all about it, because then the universe is going to grant that growth of that flower, right?
Absolutely. And like what you were saying, you put the seed into the darkness to where there, until it can sprout up, we need to just patiently wait. A farmer that plants a seed is not going to hover over his seed until it produces growth. He walks away from it, comes back, nurtures it, then leaves it again.
What's even worse is if we go over that seed because we're expecting it, we don't see the results yet, and we start digging it up, then we kill it, don't we? We just destroy it because we've dug it up instead of waiting. Now look, what if some type of a reminder, or what if a thought comes to us while we're out there? What if we've forgotten about our manifestation, but then something reminds us of it? Then what do we do in that moment?
So if we're reminded of our manifestation, it might be for a good reason so that we can go back to it and reflect on it and refine it. Make sure that we're aligning our emotions, how we're actually feeling with what we want. Because if we're feeling doubt or uncertainty or fear along that line, we are going to repulse it and push it away. So if you're being reminded of it, just make sure that you go into meditation so that you can sit with the thoughts that you're having, and then you can ground out the thoughts, meaning let the thoughts go, being in that state of presence, like present moment awareness, so that you can tune into your body and how you're feeling, because it's really important with manifesting that you align your emotions with what you want, because that's ultimately what's going to manifest.
I love hearing that, because now you got me thinking that when that little thought comes to my mind, see, I've done good. I've forgotten all about it. I've let it go. I'm on the other parts of my life doing different things. Everything's going good. Then I have that thought about it. Instead of freaking out about it, I can do what you're saying. I can pause. I can go meditate and get calm. And then I can get into that space and say something like, wow, my manifestation actually is starting to bubble up, because look, I'm getting thoughts about it. Wow, let me get in contact with that beautiful feeling, the feeling of what it's like when that manifestation is going to bloom. And then I can just that's that little bit of my personal watering and my personal sunlight on the manifestation when it comes back to my mind, or if I get a reminder of it out in the world. So don't freak out. Instead, right, just get calm and then put a little energy back into it, and then again let it go, and move on to other things, right?
Yeah, and it's important to know that when the manifestation starts to blossom, starts to grow, we don't have a certain expectation of what it's going to look like. Sometimes the branches don't look right, or they don't look exactly the way that we intend them to look. So we just want to accept what we see and what growth has come from it, and appreciate it, acknowledge it, and just, have gratitude. and hold that vibration of what it feels like to be getting what we want, the excitement that our manifestation is taking fruition and it is taking off.
You know, I'm glad you mentioned it like that about it might look a little different than what we first thought and why letting go is good. Because I remember in a story somebody told me basically about where they wanted to get this other job in the service industry. And what happened was they weren't getting any bites on it and they were starting to feel discouraged. But then somebody offered them this opportunity to volunteer somewhere. And they thought, ah, I'm not going to volunteer. I'm looking for a paid job. What's this? But instead, they did what you said. They got calm and they thought, wait a second, somebody wants to employ my services. And so they went down that rabbit hole, followed that coincidence, that serendipitous seed that was blooming, and they took that volunteer job. Now, everybody around them said, you're crazy. What are you doing? You can't waste your time volunteering. You need a job. But they let go of that because they followed that conscious contact with this reality that things are happening for us, not to us. When they did that volunteer job, Crystal, they ended up meeting people at that organization, which blossomed into a full-time career. What an amazing thing. And then they look back and that taught them the lesson to, to let go, right? To let go and trust that the universe, God's source, is bringing their manifestations to pass.
Absolutely. And if he would have held on to the idea that it had to happen a certain way, he would have held his manifestation outside of his reach. But because he surrendered to the moment and he recognized that he just needed to see the signs and to go with the flow and go where the omens and the signs are pointing him to go, that helped align him with his higher path and brought him to exactly where he needed to be.
You know, and even that story just it actually supports me in a way because it helps me to let go of expectations when I'm waiting on my manifestations to come to pass. And I'm reminded now that I can do it because it's already been done by so many people.
Very true. Well, thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity to have this spiritual conversation with you about manifestations and how we can surrender and let go and really attract what we want in our lives.
You know, that's where the true living really is at, and everyone deserves to be able to recreate their life in the way they prefer. Thank you all for being a part of this video. Our spiritual friends you are. Oh my God, we love, love, love that you exist and that you are watching these videos. Find us, comment on the video, let us know what manifestations you are working on. Let us know if you're having any trouble letting go of the expectations. We are here to help. We care. So find us, look for our stuff in the descriptions. You know how to find Crystal White. She's amazing. I'm so glad you were here. Take care.